All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace, love, salutations, blessings to the house of David, which is the elect, right? Coming back out here once again through the spirit and power of High YAHAWASHI. Get right into it, right? Today's date is 666, right? 666. So, you know, we see how what happens with that. But as the title of the lesson is, or this service, the night is coming, right? The night is coming, man. You know, and a lot of people are already asleep. You know, a lot of people are already in a mindset of not, being attentive to the things that are happening. You know, and as we were speaking about this whole thing with, we over here in New York, so the whole situation going on with, the bread and circuses revolving around, the finals, is a perfect distraction for these devils to implement, right, their agenda, right? Because next week you have Trump is supposed to be meeting with all of the major AI companies, and I seen some other thing. I'm not too sure how true it is or if it's going to happen, but he said basically the Trump administration is trying to buy stock, like 15% of ownership in all major AI companies. So maybe that's what Anthropics, Palantir, all of the major ones. But all these things are happening right under people's noses, and this is setting up the system that is really about to bring in, the complete chaos, right? And really have a lot of people in dire straits, and if you're not being attentive to these things, when it comes, as the scripture says, right, it's going to be a unstable time, right? That's why the scripture says wisdom, knowledge, and understanding shall be the stability of thy times. And the Lord has given us this grace period right now, right, before the evil day, right? As it says in Ecclesiastes, remember thy creator before the evil day comes, so that you can have that relationship with the Most High, that the Lord, through Yahawashi, can see you as somebody being worthy to escape these things. Because if the only way you're going to escape it is if you found worthy to escape it, right? You're not going to have the ability on your own to be able to maneuver during these times. The spirit of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi is going to have to be with you, right? Just as if you were in complete darkness, the only way you're going to be able to see is if you have light. And that's why the scripture speaks about having that light, right? Which is that knowledge and wisdom. If you don't have that knowledge and wisdom, you're going to be out here in complete darkness, not knowing where you're going, not knowing what's in front of you, and you're going to fall into the traps that this devil is setting up. So if brothers got any, they don't, you can get First Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, start at the top of that.
Hey, just like the Paul was saying, the night is coming, and we can see that, right? Even when you look at how the day transitions into night, the sun starts to set, and then it starts to get darker and darker and darker, right? So it's not like it's just a simple switch and then you just go from day to night. It's over time, right? And we're seeing it getting darker and darker. When you look at the atmosphere of the world, the things that we're reporting on and the things that we're seeing on a daily now are the evening, right? It's getting darker and darker, and we're warning people, but in their minds they think that it's going to be okay. It's fine. I mean, I see what you're saying, but when you really look at how the sky goes from light to dark, you can sit there, and as it's changing, you're changing with it, and before you know it, it's like, oh shit, it's dark. Like, when the hell did that happen? Like, you turn around and it's like, oh, it's a little darker. Then it's a gradual process, and it's the same kind of process that Esau Edom uses. So what he's doing is he's also transformed himself using Esau Edom into an angel of light, and now he's starting to go back into the dark side, but he's doing it ever so gradually that people are not realizing how dangerous this person actually is. If you live in a peaceful world and somebody's like a freaking extremist, dangerous person, they stand out. But if you live in a dangerous world, then a dangerous person doesn't really seem that much of a threat. It seems more like a normal person. And that's what he has done. He has raised the danger level of the world to match his cynical idea. And now people think that this is normal. But Yahawashi prophesied. He said that because the love of many shall wax cold, iniquity shall abound. And that's what we're seeing now. So the night is coming, and you're going to need the protection of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahawashi.
Oh, if I may say about the love of many wax cold, if you look at the things that's taking place right now, like a smaller bread and circus, look at these things in people's households. I mean, brother, we be sharing stuff on the thing. It's a bunch of like homicidal things happening, especially in a lot of Edomite households. You got these Edomite women having sex with students all throughout the country, the underage children, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're looking real bad, you know, they all messed up, you know, like 'cause their kingdom is falling. Because now we're at a time where the Lord is saying, now this place is falling now and it's done. And now it's time for the redemption of the elect and the Israelites. That's why this place is going down the way it is.
Because the children of the day have awoken, right? You know,
That's right.
the children of the day is now paying attention, and that's what this devil didn't want, right? He spent all of this money. He set up this whole kingdom to be a major distraction, right? He set up the system to be continuously, you know, burdensome on us, because the scriptures tells you in Ecclesiasticus the only way to get wisdom is by reason of leisure. You know, somebody that is constantly just at the grind, working, you know, trying to you know, make it to the next level. In that mindset, they don't have the leisure time to, you know, really sit back and then look at things or try to get in tune with the spiritual. This system is not set up for you to be spiritually minded, because you have so much physical and mental, should I say, carnal things that you gotta worry about. You know, and this devil set that up. What happened?
Priorities.
Yeah, priorities, right? Being subject to payments. So this devil set that up purposely so that we wouldn't be able, you know, to you know, search out that light. But hey, what YAHAWASHI did, if you already over 2,000 years ago, that burial and resurrection of YAHAWASHI already solidified, right, us getting this this truth and this knowledge when the time was appropriate, because it was created within us. I got a quick pre. It says Psalms 119 and 105. It says, "Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path." So it's the word of the Lord that, you know, guides us in this time, man. So everything that we do, even in the times that we're seeing, right, and the things that we're, you know, paying attention to, it's all being filtered through the Holy Spirit, man. You know, even like we brothers was talking, even the bread and circuses. A lot of people are looking at that and they're just really just being falling for the delusion. They're falling for the wine. But we can see the real plan behind these things, man. And that's why this word is really like a vanguard into our minds. This devil can't penetrate, you know, our mental with all of his distractions. And that's why at the end of the day, see, these are all the fiery darts that the devil is throwing. But as soon enough, which we see coming, is that he's going to come down with that sword upon us, that persecution, because all of the spiritual battle he's losing, right? Yeah, light, darkness can't defeat light. Where there is light, there is no darkness. So you can't over the darkness can't overcome unless the Lord do it, like I did in Egypt. But that you can't use your darkness to overshadow the light, as it says in 2nd Ezra, that the seat was going to be quenched, right? The truth was going to flourish, and that's what we are out here as, right? As YAHAWASHI being the truth, we are the ministers of the truth in a world where Esau has built everything on lies and corruption and wickedness. That is how he got to his level. That's how he got to the position that he's in. But now that the Lord has put out this truth, it's destroying everything at its core, man. And everybody is seeing it.
That's why, if I may, that's why now you have so-called, you know, white people now they're talking so against their government, so much against the country. You got Edomites talking about, I hate this country. Like, you know, Edomites that were once proud and like, you know, that red-blooded American, now they talk about they hate this country. And why is that? Because why? The government, he's the cruel Lord. This devil is like really putting a squeeze on people, like to the point to where now you got regular Joe Schmo Edomites talk about they hate America, like hate America, like talk about they want to leave America. They saying that the rate of people moving out of America is so high, and the rate of people moving to tourism is low. Like, so that means a lot of people from other countries not coming to America to visit, because now the world is under America's under magnifying glass, because they're bringing all this destruction to the earth, regarding especially this war with Iran, which is what ushering in World War III, which is going to end this place. So,
hey, this place is a whore. So imagine you have you being a whore, but you getting old, right? Your box, your box stinking,
not getting wet.
You're not getting wet. You
dried up.
Yeah, you tired. Somebody you wanna you know, F a chick, you want her to be active, but she just laying there She don't got nothing for you. Like, this shit whack.
Just get it over with.
So that's how this, and that's why people only use America for it, right? America was only used as for its benefits. That's why it says in Revelation, those that live deliciously with her. But the deliciousness is gone. The nectar of the sweetness is gone. So that's why, as a brother mentioned, which I did a video on, this is the first time since over 50 years that more people have been leaving America than becoming into America. Like, it's an actual, America has a net negative migration number right now. And why is that? Because it's prophecy. You know, that's the Lord said these things were going to be signs of the end of Babylon falling. You want to say that?
No, a documented thing is actually documented. They said that Americans applying for the visas in other countries is skyrocketing too.
Yep.
Like actually trying to, you know what I mean, venture out.
I was thinking about that. So the space was going down during New Year's because a lot of people didn't come visit for to go to Times Square, and that's one of the big popular things of this place. But people didn't come. Like when I was actually watching it before, all you saw was a sea. All you saw was a sea of people. But now you see like little speckles. It was the speckles of people. You know what I'm saying? So this place is just going down.
Yep. So like it was like transition.
Yep.
What, the dirt?
I need the shade.
Oh, the sun.
Feel like Jonah right now. Yeah, it's good. All right, perfect.
You don't notice it until you come into the shit.
Hey, word.
I remember one time way back, you know, apostle was speaking, he's like, yo, we like, whoa. Literally see the sun beaming on him. Tired.
Yeah, so brothers get first.
That's one, right?
You got it? What's up, top?
This is the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5 and 1, and it reads, "But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you."
Right. The times in the season says the brethren. Who are the brethren? That's specific to those that are within this truth, man. Those that are in the inward circle. You see? We already have the understanding of the seasons and of the times, just like somebody with night and day. If you are paying attention, right, you'll be able to see like, oh, okay, it's about to become dark. It's about to become nighttime. But if you sleep, you can't tell what time it is.
Right.
You can't tell whether it's day or night. So as Paul was saying, of the times and of the seasons, we have no need that I write unto you. And this is speaking prophetically, speaking about the actual the season of prophecy and what time we're in, which you measure according unto the scriptures.
Right.
That's how you measure prophecy. That's how the Lord said, can you not discern the signs of the times? How do you do that? You gotta go to the measuring stick, which is the scriptures. So that's why a lot of people right now that are not within the brotherhood, right? They're clueless to what's going on. They feel something is happening, but they don't understand really what the whole bigger picture is. They're just getting little bits and pieces of it. So that's why when it actually comes, what you want to read, is going to hit them like a thief. Got it?
Yeah, and real quick, like you mentioned about the measuring, like when you have a measuring tape, on the measuring tape has the measurements, right? And that is what you measure according to. So if you measure from one distance to another and it's like 10 or 15, you know, okay, this is 15 centimeters, 10 inches, 12 inches, right? And then you can go based off of that. So the scriptures have the measurements in them, right? Which lets us know, okay, well, when we look at where we are now and we see what's happening, okay, well, the scriptures say that when you start to see this, then know this. Ezra literally says that, I think in 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, right? Then you know that this is what's happening. So when you measure from here and you get there, it's 10 centimeters, you know, okay, this is 10 centimeters long, right? And that's how we're able to measure the times diligently, because we're living in these times. So we got to look at what's happening, and then we got to read the scriptures and see, first off, where are we now and what's to come ahead? And that's what keeps you on point. It keeps you alert. So the scripture said, a prudent man foreseeth the evil. How does he foresee the evil? Because he's looking, right? He's looking ahead. He's planning, okay, if this happens, what could that mean? If that happens, what could that mean? Got to go.
Verse 2, "For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night."
How would you know perfectly? In order to know perfectly, That means completely. And in order to be completed in this, you got to eat the whole roll, right? You got to give diligence. This got to be your nucleus of your life, man. This can't be something that you put on and put off at your convenience. And it's definitely not something that you masquerade as being involved in.
Right.
Because eventually what ends up happening, your flesh will take over. But you know, just as Paul said, yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord comes so as a thief in the night, which is why the Lord said that the good man, right, would watch and therefore not suffer his house to be taken over. Really, the house is you.
Right.
Right? You're the house. And your mind is your spiritual mind is that good man. So you got to be consistent in watching on the various different, you know, snares and traps that is being set up. Because really, the snares and traps going to be set up regardless.
Right.
We're not here to stop the trap from being set up. We're just here to watch it and then warn about it. But as we're warning of it, we're moving out the way. And we got, and it's our reasonable service to tell everybody, yo, we're watch that. Because you wouldn't be, because I think that there's a law where if you're not supposed to put a stumbling block before a man. And if you see a stumbling block, you're supposed to warn it. I believe that's in Ezekiel, the 3rd chapter. If the Lord gave you the warning, and then you're supposed to warn the wicked so that he don't basically fall into that stumbling block. And if you don't, then that blood will be upon your own hands. So knowing that you have people, because you still have, you know, certain people, and if you're really in the night, if you're really in the darkness at this time, then a lot of it is you being willful about it, man. A lot of it is you just wanting to be, you know, in that gross darkness. As YAHAWASHI said, these people love the dark.
Right.
They love the darkness rather than the light, because a brother can get that in John the 3rd chapter, Barakatah. Because of what reason? Because their deeds will be seen, man. Coming into the truth, it shines a light on your character, it shines a light on your act, on who you are. And only those that have that humbleness and meekness in that contrite and broken spirit, it will make them sorrowful into repentance. And then they go into the course correct, because they've been shown, right, as it says in us in Psalms, right, through thy precepts I get understanding. Also, where does a young man cleanse his way? By taking heed to the word of the Lord. So that's how you cleanse. That's how you cleanse your way, man. See, the Lord isn't just here to have you just know that you're wicked and then that's it. There's a purification process that comes with it. And the purification process comes by way of the suffering, the affliction, and then you being steadfast in doing so.
Yep, John. The book of John, chapter 3, verse 19. And this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light.
See, this is a condemnation, right? See, the light itself isn't a condemnation, but it's a condemnation on those that love darkness. That's why roaches, right? These niggas is a bunch of roaches. Roaches hate the light because they know that, oh, I don't know how the Lord did it, but the spirit of that's in the roach knows that, yo, people see me, they gonna want to kill me. If nobody ever seen a roach, they're like, yo, I want mad roaches around me. Like they know that they're detestable. So when the light comes on, they have it in their spirit, like, yo, I gotta get out the way. I gotta get back into the dark, but you can't see me. Yeah, be scattering, man. And that's what the light has done in the world of this darkness, which is why you have a lot of people that come up against this truth. And really with Esau in this kingdom, you got a bunch of lamps, right? As the Lord set up these little sanctuaries all over his kingdom. So it's just lamps that the Lord has set up. And this devil working in wickedness, he sees this and it infuriates him, because he needs to do his work in the dark.
Right.
That's why it says in Psalm 64, who seeth us?
Right.
They say that because we're in the dark. Nobody can see us. Right. Yeah, privily. But now that the Lord is setting up all of these candlesticks, now you're being seen.
Actually, too, about the privy council, there was something. It was some kind of, there was a meeting, but they kept it like secret. I did a video on it not too long ago, but it's like they said it was a secret meeting. I forget who met, what they met about, but I think it was regarding either the war or the digital stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like they this councils, these secret councils they actually have those things. So when they're targeting us,
Yep.
like they're actually doing that. Like the Lord said, that it's in the scripture that they're gonna do it. They're doing it, man. Just like the whole thing with Larry. What's
I think.
Larry Fink. It said even in the I'm gonna read it. It said because it's something with the digital shit. It said that it didn't even break the internet. Hold up, 1 second. It says short. It says BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says the quiet part out loud, and it still didn't break the internet. And it was talking about basically, he says ordinary people's saving accounts and pension funds worth trillions of dollars will be used to build data centers and power grids for AI. He said that people will be forced to invest in it. Much of this will come from savings accounts and pensions accounts. So, but you don't hear nobody talk about that though.
Hey, and that's why this devil is so flabbergasted. It's like where do these black so-called black and Latino men come from? Why y'all paying attention to the World Economic Forum and who that and like thinking like all that? What are y'all doing? Like, we gave y'all niggas basketball, we gave y'all football, we gave y'all bitches. We didn't even give the white women the fatty. Like we gave y'all all these. We gave y'all all this shit. And y'all over here watching what we doing. But hey, that's the spirit of the Lord, man, because the scripture says that an inquisition was going to be made upon the counsels of the ungodly. That was purposely it was purposely done. The Lord had it to where he was going to set up his men to be in that mindset amongst all of the confusion, man. Amongst all of the distraction that they were going to be what? Searching out your doing research, inquiring, investigating what you've been up to.
Right, I got some more on that. John 3:19, finishing off here. It says, and this is the condemnation, that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil.
Because their deeds were evil. See, that's why the men love darkness. Because it's evil. It's easy to do evil deeds when nobody can see you doing it. That's why people creep at nighttime.
Come out at night.
That's why people rob at nighttime. But hey, Babylon getting so bad, they doing smash and grabs in broad day. That's it.
Darker and darker.
Yeah, yep, it's because it's getting darker and darker. To the point where now that's just people just record it happening now. That's the spirit that is in this place. That is, it's just another evil, just more evil, more confusion that's going on. That's why you can have trans Jesus walking up and down the street, because it's a dark place.
Sure.
That's how this devil has transformed himself to he's made light dark. He's made light dark and dark light. So now you being somebody that is against these things, now you're the thing that needs to be shunned.
Right.
You're the thing that needs to be put in seclusion. Even the whole system that he's building, those that are against it, he is saying that now we got to start targeting you. We got to start saying, if you're anti-AI tech databases, you got to be put aside. You got to be put out. Because the system that we are creating is only going to be for those that are down with the system. And this is where the deciding factor is going to come to. This is where this hour of temptation is going to come, because that's not going to be something that people can just say, oh, well, I'm not going to do it, but I'm just going to live a regular life still. It ain't going to be no normalcy of what you expect of the status quo. When they talked about the Great Reset, when they talked about the new normal, this is what they really were speaking about. It was this new system that is being implemented. And they all talk about all these technocrats. Really, from 2020 to 2021, that's when this thing started to jump off. They all tell you the timeline.
Biden came out and said it. Right? He said that we're entering or we're in the new world order during the lockdowns. You know, when he transitioned and he came up in there, and once again with the reset, people thought that it was going to be just like a one sudden major thing, but that's where they did many little things and continue to transition the world. And so the pre-lockdown era is a different era now, based on what's happening now, not just with the increase of violence, but also with technology and just the way that people are living. Like the Zaquan was going into, this devil has actually made the world darker and darker and darker, to where the wickedness that would usually be done in the extreme darks are being done in broad daylight, because it gross darkness of people, as the scriptures say. Well, he's covered the minds of the people with darkness, and now we stick out like a sore thumb being in the past, because people had a little bit more morality to them. We weren't ostracized as badly as now. Now they've gotten so dark that they see us very clearly as like, yeah, this is opposition right here. Right. And they don't see as light and dark. They see as you're one of us or you're not. Right? This is different, and they treat different as bad. So rather than looking at it on the moral compass of, well, which side are you on? They don't care about that. If you're not on our side, it don't matter what side we on. We coming for you. And now they're talking about we coming for your kids and all that shit. You know, I remember that I vividly saw this. They started pushing this as, oh, equality for, you know, for the alternative lifestyle, and they can't be oppressed and so on. Oh, is it equality when you got them parading, talking about we coming for your children? They're explicitly parading that, saying we coming for your children. So what is that telling people? Because through the whole campaign of equality, they desensitized the minds of the people to now accept the takeover. And I remember being in high school in health class, they showed us a video. It seemed almost, you know, comical, where it was the reverse. And in that world, if you were straight, you were treated as a outcast. Dude had 2 moms and everything, and he got in trouble because he kissed a girl at school. And it was like a big deal. They were like, yo, we're about to like damn near suspend your child. They gave him the talk. You can't be holding hands with it. Like that's what the world was like. And you know, years ago, you thinking, oh, that's crazy. Ha ha ha. But look at what we have today. Now, like in the ancient world, it was one thing to find, you know, a good woman or find a good man for your daughter. Today, you got to worry that the woman you found ain't a man. That's crazy. Like you're not just going up against adulterers or untrustworthy women. Now you're going up against men too. What kind of shit is that?
If I may, real quick, so I talk about that secret meeting. I forgot. How can I forget? It was about them putting microchips in the prisoners. Now, I'm gonna read one quick insert. So it says, from Daily Mail, this was June 1st, so that was what, Monday? It's past Monday. It says microchips could be put under prisoners' skin to track them. Tech bosses tell prison minister. Now, mind you, what the brother said before, I don't know if you mentioned it about you did mention when Trump was gonna have that meeting with all the techno AI companies or whatever, right? So they're getting all this thing moving. So this is article talk about them putting microchips on the prisoners, but it said that the minutes of the secretive meeting were released to Foxglove, a group that campaigns against the abuse of tech by governments and companies following a freedom of information request. So I guess these people kind of against it, but basically the prisoners, the prisons are going to be putting microchips under people. Now this is in the UK, so if it's in the UK, it's damn sure going to come to the USA. You know what I'm saying? And that's the gear they in.
The technocrats that were there were, majority of them, if not all of them, not all of them, but I know a lot of them were American companies. You had Amazon Web Services.
Oh yeah, it said it.
You had Palantir. You had Google. You had Microsoft. But they over there in the UK.
Yeah.
So that right there shows you that this is a system of the beast. And these were technocrats that were basically working with the government and pitching these ideas to them on how to, you know, make it easier for you to track your prisoners and rehabilitate them, and also the pre-crime, which Biden spoke about all those years ago. See, this plan is not something they just came up with in 2021, 2022, right? These things were something that goes back all the way to Albert Pike days, man. This was an agenda that was passed down by these devils, because they always knew that they were Esau Edom, and they always knew they believed the scriptures. This is why this is a plan really to fight against the Lord himself, man. That's why it says that in Psalms the 2nd chapter. Why did the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings would take counsel together to come against the Lord and his anointed one. This is really a fight to try to stop the program of the Creator himself. And who are they going to come after? As it says in Revelation, the 12th chapter, they went to go make the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to go make war with the remnant of her seed. Who is the remnant of the woman's seed? The woman being Israel. Who is the remnant? The elect, the children that were of the day. Because what did John saw? That she was clothed with the sun and the what it said, the moon, and she had the stars, 12 stars around her. What are stars? Those are illuminated objects, man. Those things they're bright. So this dragon, it goes to make war with the remnant of those stars, those that continue to pass down that light, to have that light in them in all generations. And he sees that this is his final hour, right? The 11th hour. This is his final hour to do these things.
So I misspoke. The meeting was secretive. There was the Fox Club people are the people that they were told about the secretive meeting. You know what I'm saying? But it, like the brother said, it said around 30 companies. It said 30 companies. It said the meeting took place last year with representatives from more than 30 companies, including Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. But details have only started to emerge now. Firms also suggested that AI could be used to predict the risk posed by certain individuals. Lord Timpson told the meeting that once in a generation reform is the only way we can truly deal with the scale of the crisis, cut crime, and speed up justice. And that's how they're going to implement this. Oh, my bad.
So it said once in a generation. That rhetoric is happening a lot more. But once in a generation with the whole shit with the Knicks.
Yep.
Jeez.
They said that Bibi said that this whole thing with Iran, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. All of these things that they're saying is like, yo, it's now or never. Like this got to happen. There was something else that I was reading that they use that same verbiage, like once in a lifetime or once in a generation thing, because we're at the end. So there's going to be a lot of unprecedented events taking place. Did not the scripture says it's going to be a time like never before? It should be like this. It would say it should be like a time like this and never again. So what's coming on the earth is going to be a night that you ain't never seen.
Darkest night.
Hey, that's a lesson right there. It's going to be the darkest night, man. And if you are already asleep, when you wake up into pitch darkness, it's like, yo, am I still asleep?
Right.
You wake up, you think your eyes are open, but it's not. You don't see nothing. You're like, is this a dream? You go try to look for some light, and everything is just dark. Now you think you're blind. You just hitting everything, running. Then you're gonna hear some voice tell you, "Come follow me this way." You're gonna get led right into the to the sea hip, man.
It's like when in the book of 2 Kings, when I believe Ben-Hadad was going to war with Israel, or was when he besieged Samaria, and the Lord had casted blindness on Ben-Hadad and his army, and then Elisha, he was like, "Cover me, I know where he is," because they themselves were looking for Elisha, and Elisha was pretending like he was their guy. So he brought them, and he brought them to the king of Israel. And you know, the king of Israel, I forgot who was the king at the time, but it was like, "Yo, is it go time? Are we here to kill them?" And then Elisha was like, nah, just feed them, let them go on the way.
He was able to mislead them because they were blind. Hey, that's why it says that the blind lead the blind, they shall both fall into a ditch. How you blind and trying to lead somebody else? You can't even see what's in front of you. So how are you gonna lead somebody else? Because they might be holding on to you, but you ain't holding on to nothing. And before you know it, you fall into that ditch. But that's what Esau has mastered, the art of deception. You know, to where even though you're physically able to see, spiritually you're blinded, and so he's leading you astray. And we're trying to call you back to the right path, but a lot of people are not trying to hear that.
Hey, and what determines, if you're blind, what determines whether or not you want to listen to somebody, right? Because if you're blind and you're being led by somebody that's blind, but then we can see, and we also are telling you right now, come this way, your only way that you're going to pick is based off of your spirit,
right?
Based off of what is being said to you that sounds like a better path. And those blind leaders are saying things that appeal to the flesh.
Right.
Where you had Deacon and God say you can still serve God and have the finer things in life. Of course, somebody that's blind, they gonna say, "Oh yeah, I want that." They gonna say that they gonna actually go follow that path because I can be the old man and still get the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
No, that goes completely against what the scriptures are saying. At what point in the scriptures did the Lord? That's prosperity doctrine. Where did the Lord? Not to say that the Lord don't bless brothers with certain things, right? But where in the scriptures did the Lord say that yo, you gonna serve me and I'm gonna give you everything? He said, I'm gonna find this. He said the finest things in life. He even said like, yeah, I'm gonna give you like, you're gonna be good. He said GMS mad at me because I got a Benz. I'm like, what? But those are the guys that get those big followers. You'll have more people give him, niggas that's broke will give him more money. But he gotta be the man of the Lord. Look at, he got a Benz. He got a Hellcat with three chicks.
I think his Eve said that. She said I guess actually now whatever. She said that he said you'll make more money teaching about the Gentiles can make it than if you were to teach that they can't make it. So that's why he was like, yeah, I'm gonna jump onto that. So once again, it's driven by filthy lucre sake.
And that path is an easy path for for somebody that is carnal. That's the broad path. See, it said many go in there. And when you go into the broad path, I was reading that it basically symbolizes it's unrestricted, meaning you could be however you want to be and take that path. There's nothing that you got to sacrifice to take the broad path. You got something, bro? Come on, you bring it up.
This is the book of Sirach, or the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 2 and 1, and it says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation." Not prepare yourself for the finer things in life. You got to prepare yourself for temptation. What the flesh wants, but your spirit doesn't want it.
Yep. See, the Lord, once again, he said that the broad path leads unto, it's an easy road, but what is the final destination? The final destination is destruction. So if you're being allured to take an easy path, you got to ask yourself, where is this leading? Because that's not the path that YAHAWASHI took.
Right.
And you're supposed to be modeling yourself after how YAHAWASHI said, "Ye that suffered with me in my temptations, in my trials, in my testing." Paul said, what? Through much tribulation, we shall enter into the kingdom of heaven. So it's not going to be an unrestricted path. It's going to be hard. It's going to be restrictive. That's why you need what? Discipline. A disciple is disciplined. And in order to be disciplined, you got to be firm in restricting yourself. And it's really the flesh.
Right.
That's what you're restricting.
Pretty tough.
Yep.
Just like you mentioned, because the Apostle Paul, he said that he gave up the finer things in life and took the lower route. The things that he was subject to. Now, this is Philippians chapter 3, verse, I start at verse 4. It says, "Though I might also have confidence in the flesh, if any other man thinketh that he hath whereof he may trust in the flesh, I more."
Right.
But he didn't boast in that. Circumcised the 8th day.
Yeah, because brothers, like I said, brothers have certain, things, man. Brothers got houses, got pools, right? Got nice cars. But that's not what we boasting.
Right.
We're not gonna come up here like, hey, you gonna get down with us. You gonna have the nice things, man. See, the Lord blesses those he loves. See, but that's the mentality that these wolves use. That's what the TD Jakes and all these mega pastors, that's what they say. They boast in the materialistic things, which only allures to the flesh, and they use that to capitalize on the simple-minded. That's why it says that they shall make merchandise of you.
Right.
You bless me, then I'll bless, and I'll pray to the Lord to bless you like how he blessed me. Or they say, sow a seed into me, and I'm gonna grow this, I'm gonna grow all this for you. But if you blind, got you. If you blind, that sounds good. But here it is, you got the men of the Lord with the actual light telling you, nah, this is the right path. What is that, Jeremiah 6? Showing them the way. Hearken, this is the path to where the good place is. Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be hard, but it's not grievous, man. And ultimately, when you have that mindset of believing on the hope of the promise, everything that you're going through don't really matter. That's what it really comes down to. And that's why a lot of these people, they don't truly believe on the promise. Because if you really believed on a promise, the narrow path really is not something that's like daunting to you. It's just like, you know what? I just gotta remain disciplined on it.
And also the broad way is not enticing to you because your mind is on the kingdom to come.
Right.
So really the things the Lord gave them was a curse onto them. Not because the thing itself was a curse, but because the mind that they had while receiving that same thing. Because if the Lord gave that to a sincere man of the Lord, yeah, you would be happy, but that wouldn't be his whole focus. He wouldn't shift his whole energy into just gaining more and more of those things. That's one thing I always find interesting, right? Which is you do the right thing, you get rewarded, then you start doing the wrong thing to keep the reward. That's not how it works. If you did the right thing to get the reward, why would you stop doing that thing thinking that you're going to get more rewards? So I got a precept here. So you were mentioning this about the glorying. Jeremiah 9:23, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might.
See, that's what Paul was saying. Right? I could boast in these things, but that doesn't really profit anything.
Right.
So as Jeremiah is saying here, right? Let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, or the rich man, the mighty man glory in his might. Go ahead.
Let not the rich man glory in his riches. Hellcats, final things in life.
Right.
Oh, and you know what's crazy? The balance of all this, right? The Lord says desire wisdom, and then when you get the wisdom, don't glory in it. That's discipline, you know?
Yep.
Because it's very hard to have that self-control. But like you said, when you really sit down and think about it, what's the benefit of glorying in your wisdom or your riches and all that? Who does that benefit but you? And even in that benefit, what is it? To stroke your ego? That's it. That's all it does. It doesn't edify. It doesn't do anything.
Yep.
It says here, verse 24, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me, that I am the Lord Yahawah, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, saith the Lord. Because
that keeps you in a certain fear of the Lord, man. Right. That keeps you in a mindset of knowing that, hey, this is by the Lord's power that this has been given unto me. This knowledge has been given unto me. Hey, that's why King David was so blessed in the eyes of the Lord, man. And why the Lord blessed King David, because of his heart. Because his heart was after the Lord. Every time King David went to battle and won, he didn't boast in himself. Yeah, I taught Judah how to this. Nah, it was all the Lord, man. That was the mindset that the Lord says, you know what, this is who I'm going to raise up. Look how YAHAWASHI came. Knowing that, I always say it's amazing, man. He knew in the flesh that he was the Son of God. Knew in the flesh that he was came on the earth, just like how we here, knowing that he is the actual only begotten of the Heavenly Father, man. Having all of the power. He told him, right? Don't you think I can't call 12 legions of angels and stop? Like, I could take over the Roman Empire right now. Tonight, it'll be over. But what? He had a son. He came to do to be obedient unto his father. Through suffering, right? He learned obedience. And that's how he got the ultimate glory. That's why he prayed unto the Father, return unto me the glory that I had with you from the beginning. Because the glory, like how you said, that if the Lord would have done that, that would have just been for a temporary thing. Because he still was in the flesh. So eventually he would have got older and he would have died. So he would have just been on the scene at that point and took over the Roman Empire, but now we're just completely done. Now everything is just through at this point. But he wanted the greater glory. He wanted the everlasting dominion, the everlasting king. He wanted immortality. Like how we always talking about in Solomon. It's all vanity and vexation of spirit. Because at the end of the day, he already knew, I think that's Ecclesiastes, the 2nd chapter, where he said, like, yo, I got all this, but what's going to profit me? I'm going to die and I'm about to pass it down to somebody that's not as smart as me. Like, you had so much wisdom to know that, damn, like, I'm the best it gets. And then after that, you're like, my son is not going to be as good as me. And it's just going to get worse and worse and worse.
I was gonna say, I got a precept, but I was gonna say, I don't know if it's in Philippians, but I know it's a scripture where it says that when Paul was talking about the stuff he had, he said he kind of lost, he kind of dumped. That's what you read? Yeah. But you mentioned David giving his honor to the Lord. So this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 47. I'm gonna start at the top and I'm gonna jump down. It says, and after him rose up Nathan to prophesy in the time of David. As is the fat taken away from the peace offering, so was David chosen out of the children of Israel. Like the brother said, why was David chosen? Because of his heart.
You
And
know
it
what's
said,
crazy about that? That's the portion that belongs to the Lord. That
Yeah,
as the
the
fat
fat,
is
yeah.
taken off of the peace offering.
And it says, he played with lions as with kids, and with bears as with lambs. Slew he not a giant when he was yet but young, and did he not take away reproach from the people when he lifted up his hand with the stone and the sling and beat down the boasting of Goliath? For he called upon the Most High Lord, and he gave him strength in his right hand to slay that mighty warrior and set up the horn of his people, which are the Israelites. And said, so the people honored him with 10,000 and praised him in the blessings of the Lord, and that he gave him a crown of glory. For he
You
just,
got to think about, because I've been telling brothers watching that TV show, The House of David, and it puts it like into visual. You got to think about the actual faith that David had in the Lord, man, in order to go up against a champion, not just a regular champion. They said that he had Goliath, based on what they were saying, probably could have been bigger, but they said he had to be at least 9'9", at least 9'9", based off of the weight of his armor.
Remember in this it said, reference said when he was but young, and I remember when Saul said, it said that he was but a youth, and it said that Goliath was a mighty warrior since his youth.
Right. See? So David did that because of his faith that he had in the Lord. Strictly off of that. And it's because of the situations that he was in before. Like I mentioned, he slayed a lion. He did that as a youth, but he did it. He had the courage to do so because of what? The Lord. He went against a lion knowing that, in the name of YAHAWASHI, right? You might have said Yahweh doing it. Hey, I'm gonna take you down, man. Because I got a job to do to protect these sheep, which is all spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all spiritual. But he had that experience to go against the lion. So when he saw Goliath defying Israel and defying the God of Israel, he said, "Oh nah." like the same God that allowed me to take down the lion, I'm gonna take you down.
It should be the same.
So that, and it said what? So that all of Israel shall know that there, or should have said all of Israel, that all the armies of Israel shall know. I believe it said that there is a God that saveth in Israel, because they were afraid, and he was perplexed. Like, yo, why are you afraid? Like, we got the actual true living God on our side. Don't you not believe the story? Don't you believe the history of how he came out of captivity with Moses, all the things, and that's why we got the things written. This is why, but I forgot what scripture it was. Oh, in second Peter, the 3rd chapter, where he says, putting you remembrance, be mindful of the words of the prophets. Be mindful of the words of the prophets, man. The things that are written here are stories that were for us now to be in remembrance of. That this is what our power has done for us on a physical level, supernatural miracles, divine intervention on our behalf. So when David said that, when David saw Goliath, in his mind was like, well, we serve that same God is here. We serve that same power. So yeah, I'm gonna go and take him down.
Cut his head off.
And cut his head off.
With his own sword.
Yep.
And that's the spirit. It's like, I got you, bro. That's the spirit, because a lion by nature is ferocious. That is its nature. A man has to be trained in that way. So though Goliath was mighty since he was a youth, he was trained in that way. A lion doesn't have a second thought when it's about to kill you. A lion doesn't look at you crying and say, "Oh, let me hesitate," or whatnot. No. If a lion says its sight on you, and they back in the ancient world, them lions were much bigger.
Right.
Okay, because around that area, they tell you around the Jordan, you had a lot of lions and bears that used to be around that area. That's where they were able to come from. In the case with like Samson and David and all those, so on and so forth. So knowing that the Lord delivered him in that time on multiple occasions to go and take it, first off, if you go and provoke a lion that's going on its way, you asking for trouble. A lion that just caught food and you try to go take it out of its mouth. You ever seen in an animal kingdom when the male lion is eating and the females try to come close? He's like, he about to rip their head off. When he shows them teeth and he bites their ass and then they fall back. And David said, "Nah, I'm going to come." I took it out of his mouth. So what you think he was doing? Playing with it like a kid? He was just playing patty cake with the lion and shit? No. And a bear. You ever seen a bear stand up?
Yep.
A big brown bear stand up?
They had to be bigger back then.
Shit. So he looking at Goliath like, look at this nigga. You know?
And you talking shit against the Lord?
The army of the living God.
Like,
He said this Philistine should be like one of them.
Yeah.
So to get to the point, so it says, for he destroyed this Ecclesiastes chapter 47, verse 7. The point is in verse 8. It says, for he destroyed the enemies on every side and brought to naught the Philistines, his adversaries, and break their horn and sunder unto this day. Now that was at the present time with Goliath. And it said, in all his works, this is the point the brother's saying, in all his works he praised the Holy One Most High with words of glory. With his whole heart he sung songs and loved him that made him. So he didn't glorify himself. He didn't boast in himself. It said what? It said in all his works he praised the Holy One Most High.
right. See? And that's why the Lord continued to bless him and have mercy upon him. Because he never, although he was a man and he had faults in the flesh, he was never one to stray from acknowledging who his power was.
Right.
He didn't get boastful in the fact that he was out here just being able to run through, different troops. He didn't get out like, yo, I'm the guy, I'm the man. Nah. All of his works, he praised the Lord. And that's where a lot of people, right, even as the scripture said, that pride, knowledge puffeth up, right? You get when you think to self to be something, when you are nothing, you deceive your own self. How do you boast? Always, to me, it's always been a amazing how you got Jake, period, that are prideful. Like, period. It don't matter what position you are. You're a so-called black or Latino in America. They're like, what are you prideful about? You would never be on the side where a so-called white American is. You'll never be that high here.
They're going down. But you down already.
So it's like, why do you have pride? And then you got Jake that come into the truth and then have pride. When the truth is literally about suffering. It's about humility. It's about knowing that you ain't shit and that you need the Lord to have mercy upon you. But those are the ones that the Lord set up as being the undesirables. So you go back to Philippians.
Yep. This is the book of Philippians, chapter 3, verse 4. Though I might also have confidence in the flesh, if any other man thinketh that he hath whereof he might trust in the flesh, I more, circumcised the 8th day, of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, and Hebrew of Hebrews, as touching the law, a Pharisee, concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless.
And so Paul is basically saying, if you want to go bar for tit for tat, right? You can go for a band for band. We can go in for M. If you want to go for go against Paul when it came to the law, he said you can't touch me. And he had to do this because you had certain Jews that were actually trying to boast in that. But he understood that, what he's going to say, that none of that matters. And you got Jake today that not even on a level of Paul, how Paul was, that try to boast in the law. They're not even on the level. But Paul will look at you like a filthy heathen when it comes to the law, man. Jake now is probably worse. I'm not even probably is worse than the Gentiles of the heathen Jake back then during the Roman Empire.
Damn.
Because everything that Jake does now is idolatry. It's like ingrained in their system now. And they don't even have like an inkling of spirituality, man. I was with my boy in the world yesterday, and I asked him, I was like, yo, would you try any meat? And he was like, any meat? I was like, I'm not talking about human, but like any animal meat. And he was like, I mean, I don't know. I was like, would you try to eat would you eat a lion meat? He was like, probably. I'm like, so you would try any meat. Like, and that's the thing about Jake. If you make it taste good, the flesh, if you can make it taste good enough, they don't really care what it is.
Season it up, right?
They'll eat it first before asking you what it is.
That's crazy.
I don't want the wisdom first. I want the flesh to get filled first, and then you give me the wisdom afterwards. And then once you get the wisdom, it don't really matter because now your flesh is like, well, we like it anyway. Jake is opposite, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's the wise to do evil, man.
Yeah, that's the Lord said. That's why are not your ways unequal? Because Jake will get mad at the Lord for doing that. But like you said, there's no moral compass that tells them, wait, let me be cautious. What is it that you're about to give me? Or hold on, wait, no, you said lying me. No, I can't eat lying me. None of that is in their minds. They don't have that alert, that mental block. And that's why we ought to be that much more grateful. Like the Zaquan was saying, we got nothing to be proud of. We're not even on the level in terms of if we want to compare, law for law, as how the men of old were.
Right.
And even then, the Lord was getting on them. The wickedness that the Lord was rebuking Jake for back then, they will be considered saints among Jakes now. And they were getting rebuked by the Lord back then. And you think you got something to be proud of? That's crazy.
It got worse every time.
Yeah, they said that in Jeremiah that you've done worse than your fathers.
Oh shit.
Yeah, baby.
How you doing?
Yeah, I still got that in Philippians 3.
Yep.
Philippians 3, continuing at verse 7, it says, but what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Hamashiach.
Yep.
Yea, doubtless, I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Yahawashi Hamashiach, my Lord.
Right. You count all those things lost to gain Yahawashi. Because you understand, just like with Moses in Egypt, he said what? That he basically shunned the pleasures of Egypt for a moment to get the recompense of the reward that would be gained through Yahawashi. So when you actually truly, right, believe, like I said, when you believe on the promise and you believe in what the Lord has in store for us, everything else is really doesn't measure up.
Sure.
It really doesn't measure up to what the Lord is bringing. In your mind, that's a certain type of mindset that you got to be fully persuaded in. That's why it speaks about that. You got to be fully persuaded in the promise. And that's something that really is a gift, right? That faith is a gift that the Lord gives those, that are predestined. Because what are we really fighting for? It's something that we can't see, something that we can't hold, we can't describe it. And that's why a lot of people look at us like, "Oh, you guys are insane. You guys are crazy. You guys are, wasting your time." Like, you're doing all this for what? But once again, it's a belief that the Lord put within our inward parts, man. That's why Yahawashi said that the kingdom of heaven is within you. This is something that this devil, no matter what he does, he can't take that from you. You got to literally give that up. That's why it says hold fast what you already have. If you holding something hard, fast, tightly, in order for somebody to take it from you, you got to really like let him do it.
Right, like a baby.
Yeah. That should be tight as hell. You got to really let him do it, man.
Give it up.
And I was gonna say, to your point, Yahawashi, you got to think about this, right? Yahawashi told us to wait, and this is something that this is about like over 2,000 years, but he said it as though it's like it's worth it. So you got to imagine the level of what it is that we're about to get. That the Lord is like, wait, even though it's 2,000 years, just wait. Right. He that is just, let him be just. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still. And he remember the things that he was writing, that he told the Apostle John to write to the 7 churches. It benefits us now, but imagine hearing that back then. And now you understand there's a reason why the Lord didn't tell him that, hey, I'm gonna be back in like 2,000 plus years. Because imagine trying to keep you get your ass beat and tortured, and you try to keep the faith thinking you got 2,000 plus more years to come. And then you might, because you're not sure when exactly then that the time is. But you know that in 2,000 years, you're still gonna be here waiting. That's gonna be a lot to bear. And that's why the Lord is a part of that is psychological. You never know. Hey, it might be next year. It might be 6 months from now. So you keep on pushing. But the Lord gives us that hope. But along with that, he gives us the resilience. Right. To where even when we get to the point where, okay, 6 months is here, it's not here. All right, whatever. Let's keep going. And he just keeps on giving us that boost until eventually you finally make it there.
It's like running a marathon, but not knowing where the end line is. Yep. You don't know how long this marathon is. Is this a 5K, 10K, a half a marathon? Is this an Ironman? I don't know. Yep. But what you do know is you got to finish.
Mhm.
You got to cross the line. Because the only ones that's going to get the reward is those that finish it.
Forward.
You got to keep pressing. That's why it says, I think in the same chapter, I press toward the mark. Because you already know, and this is the beauty of YAHAWASHI coming, he was the fulfillment of the promise. So if you believe in his life, then you already know, well, there was one.
Right, right.
There was one.
Somebody
That somebody got immortality.
Sure.
And exactly. He can't just have it by himself. What would be the point of that? And even if he did have it by himself, he got to be on the earth.
Right.
So you got to come back and get yours. And when you come back, I want to be somebody that you found worthy to stand before you. Because you professed him in the sight of men. You stood stiffly for his name. The one name that you can stand stiffly for is for the one person that came on the earth that has immortality. What other person you gonna boast in?
Right. I got some more here. Philippians chapter 3, verse continuing in verse 8. It says here, yea, doubtless I count all things but loss for the excellency of the knowledge of Hamashiach Yahawashi, my Lord. Which is crazy because it shows you that there's a certain level of the knowledge, of the excellency of the knowledge of the Lord that you can't reach unless you sacrifice.
Yep.
You need to be willing to sacrifice everything to reach that point. Because the more you hold on to these things, like Abraham was able to make that breakthrough because he was willing to sacrifice Isaac. The one thing he wanted most, which was a son, an heir, and that the Lord told him against all odds and gave it to him. The Lord says, okay, now I'm going to take him away. And because he was willing to sacrifice that, the scriptures tell you that what? His lot, he's written all throughout the scriptures. There you go.
What did the little girl tell Thanos? What did it cost? Said everything.
That's it.
Your life.
Yep.
That's what it boils down to, right? If you're not willing to sacrifice everything, including your life, then you're not worthy to serve the Lord. Because he set his life out there. He put his life on the line for us to be reconciled back to the Lord, redeemed back to the Lord. So if he wouldn't have done that, then we would have all been effed and would have all been destroyed. You know, rightfully so, because none of us are righteous, right? It's the Lord's sacrifice that makes us righteous. When the Lord looks at us, he doesn't see us and what we do. He sees Yahawashi's sacrifice.
Yep.
And that's all we need. Without that sacrifice, the Lord sees sinful creatures and he'll make them go back to the time of Moses and say, I'm going to destroy them and start all over again.
Hey, what did the death angel see?
Right.
The blood on the doorpost.
Right.
And it really wasn't the blood, it was the obedience. Like, you think, just putting blood on the doorpost is going to save you from a death angel? Like, if the death angel really wanted to, like, I ain't going to stop you. But it was the obedience.
Like the brazen serpent.
Exactly. It wasn't the actual brazen serpent. It was the obedience of those that look up. Because you got to think about somebody that got bit by a snake. You telling me, I'm going to survive. You seen everybody dying. Well, I'm going to survive just by looking at this.
Right.
It's the obedience. That's why the scripture says obedience is better than sacrifice.
No, what they did is why they did it.
It's because they believed what the Lord said. That's it. So in this time, you got to believe what the Lord said. Don't take the Quran. I can't buy or sell. I can't live. What do you mean? Don't take it. I know. Just don't do it.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay, that's it.
But in a person that is carnally minded, they're looking at it like, yo, that's too, like, how am I going to eat? Like, it's just something so small. And I can just eat. I can have a house. I can take care of my kids. It's really just a tiny thing, and that's just it. Now, don't do it.
Wisdom is too high for a fool.
Just want to say that.
I just thought about a scenario like if like you standing there, right, and they tell you, look, just reach and grab whatever that box on the top of the fridge. And for a fool, the more reasons they start to think about why they can't do it, the shorter and shorter and shorter they get, to the point where all you have to do is just reach your hand and grab it, but now you can't even reach it anymore because you're shrinking because you're lacking faith and faith and faith. What the Zaquan just said about the serpent, all you have to do is look up and look at it and believe. But they'd rather scramble and do what? You got bit by a snake. What can you do in the wilderness other than the solution that you're being told? What could you actually do in your own power to deliver yourself? Nothing.
Complaining more.
Yeah, complaining more. Right. Run around.
It's because of you, Moses. These snakes came.
Like, that's going to heal you. And then you're going to die at the end of the day.
Yep.
When all you had to do was just, here, you know what? If anything, I got nothing else to do. It can't possibly hurt to look at it and believe. But it's just like, it's so difficult for them to do something so simple. But I think there's a scripture that says that, right? To the godly, all things are plain, something along those lines. But the Lord has made those same very things complex and too difficult for somebody that is not godly. Remember we talked about that, I think it was like earlier this week, about how the Lord could put out the same thing, but it'll have adverse reactions depending on where you stand on the side, right? On the side of the spectrum. The Lord could do something that if you're on the right-hand side, it works to your benefit. Or if you're on the left-hand side, that same thing will work against you. And the Lord, when you read throughout the scriptures many, many times, for example, the one we just brought up about the brazen serpent, right? Those who were of the elect looked up and the snake didn't bite them. They were good, right? But those who are not of the elect, what do? They doubted. And that's the same thing you're going to see here this time around in this modern day wilderness. When times get tough, they already have the direction, but the fear of unknown is what's going to cripple them not to actually take that leap of faith. Yeah. For the elect, the fear of the unknown doesn't exist with us. You know what I'm saying? We don't walk around here aimless. Now we have a place we're going. We have an agenda that we have to accomplish, and that's it. The reward comes after that. But we know the work that's cut out for us. We don't know when the work ends, but the faith is what keeps us through that work. Like, all right, Lord, like Mr. Quan, you gave the example of the marathon. You don't know where the end point is. You just have the faith enough to jump on the trail and keep running. And just don't give up. Don't look back. Don't look to your left. Don't look to your right. Just keep on going. Remember how many times the prophets would send somebody, and then when they send them, they said, don't stop. Don't say hi to nobody. If somebody stops and say, hey, what's up? Where you going? Just keep going until you get to your target, and then deliver the message and be out of there. I think it was Jehu. When he sent Jehu, he said, go over there, tell him that he's Elisha sent the prophets and said, go, no, exactly.
Yeah, and then book it. And then book it. He said, when you going, don't say hi to nobody. Don't stop by none of that. And that's because when you have a message that's being sent out, right? Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, that he may run that readeth it. The one who's running, they carry a specific message. If they get stopped or speak to somebody else, they could miscommunicate that message that they've been sent to give. So it's all in the fervency.
Because you could, like, let's say if it was oral, you could forget it.
Yeah,
You probably in your mind, you keep saying it.
Yep.
I gotta say this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this.
Yep.
Somebody trying to talk to you now. I gotta do this, I gotta do this.
Exactly.
Yo, come here, go chill. No, I gotta do this. Until you get to that point.
Yep.
Like, let's just say this. I'm out. And when the guy said the commanders and officers, what did he say? He was like, oh, you know what, man. You know these prophets, they just crazy. Like, that's how they look at us, yo. That's how they look at us right now. Like, you know, these crazy people. It's crazy. So they probably been getting called crazy, man. But that's okay. Because we be crazy for the Lord.
You gotta go. Going into greed, you know, brothers mentioning Jake being greedy and people never being satisfied. So this is Numbers 11:32. And the people stood up all that day and all that night and all the next day, and they gathered the quails. He that gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them all abroad for themselves round about the camp. Now, when you go into 10 homers, it roughly translates to hundreds of gallons of meat per person, hundreds of gallons of meat. So it wasn't enough that, you know, the Lord provided it, but then they had to show their true lust and greed for it, you know? And so that's what the Lord did. And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, the wrath of Yahweh was kindled against the people. And Yahweh smote the people with a very great plague.
Now you gotta ask yourself, why would the Lord, he gave him the quail, but then he got mad.
That's what he got mad. Yeah, that's what
That nigga was there.
Who?
The shark.
That's the reaction. They was having a whole bunch of them spirits. Right when they got it. Shark.
You heard about that guy, right? You heard about that guy.
But that was the mindset, because the spirit, I had did a video on this yesterday. The Lord was already providing them what they needed. They were already in a good position. Like, they were eating every day. They would get that, it was nutritious. They had them sustained. So they didn't need anything else.
Right.
That's why, as James said, they asked to consume it upon their lust. It wasn't like, yo, I'm still weak, I'm still hungry. They weren't hungry anymore.
Right.
Once you're full, you don't care about the food anymore. We don't care. You're like, yo, you put anything in front of you, I'm good. So you were being fed, you were being full, or filled rather. But them and the way that they were acting when this, it was like they've never eaten before. You acting like the Lord wasn't giving you provisions for this whole time.
And that's one thing that Jake parents hate. I remember growing up, whenever you went to we about to go to a family or something, my mom would make sure we eat in the house before we go out because she don't want that shit. Like, oh, you act like you don't
Look like
get fed at
yeah,
home.
you act like you don't
that
get
shit,
fed at home.
Yo,
Yep.
she hated that. So she would make sure you eat before you go to somebody's house. She'd be like, you're not about to go to do all that villager, wild, weirdo, fucking madness. You're not doing that shit over there. You're not embarrassing me.
Can I have more, please?
Yeah, no. She's like, no seconds. She's like, no, the plate is good. Sometimes she's like, you better not finish that whole plate. Leave a little bit on there. Like, fuck out of here.
You would.
I take the beating.
That's what Chappelle said too. He took his son to go see Kevin Hart, and then he got to see him backstage, and he was hungry. And his son started beasting on all the food. He's like, damn, nigga, you act like you never ate nothing before. Making me look bad and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's a childlike mindset, you know? You see food and it's just like, you got to gorge yourself. And the sheer fact that they gathered 600 gallons per person. Like, how much do you need to possibly eat? That's like General YAHAWASHI. He said, oh, I got to eat. Yo, you never skipped a meal since you was born, nigga. Look at you. You even hold the Day of Atonement, bro? You know?
Right.
I can't tell. You do, Salaki, but I can't tell. But again, that's Jake, that lust, that greed. And that goes to show lust is beyond just sexual desire. It's the desires of the flesh. And the Lord was providing. And he gave you the quail. But on top of it, you had to act like you wasn't getting fed. Like, damn.
Hey, the Bible tells you not to be a nigga when it comes to
Nigga,
at the table.
Yeah. Right.
That's
First
it.
one.
Yeah.
Or yeah, because that basically showed their ungratefulness.
Yeah.
That's what that really was. They were unthankful. And that's the same mindset I was saying in perilous times will come. They were unthankful, heady, high-minded, right? Because all these things is things that you want to do to consume upon your lust. Your God is your belly at this point. And I think in Philippians, was that the 3rd chapter, the same chapter, where it tells you that what is the end of that? Whose end is destruction?
Right.
Whose God is their belly?
Right.
That's where the path of the unrestricted Broadway leads you. When you just are in a mindset of whatever feels good, it's always going to lead you down to it started with Eve. Gee, it was good to it was pleasant to the eyes. It was good to the taste. When that's your mindset, you lose.
Yep.
That's a loser's mindset, man.
And you're never satisfied with that mindset.
Yep.
Because once you're done being pleased, you want it again. You know, you want something better. Yeah, again and again and again.
The actions you do to get that high is worse and worse and worse.
Yep.
And it's just fucking shit. That's Esau's system. That's why they push the social media shit to confuse everyone to move away from how life is actually supposed to be lived. And then people end up being frustrated. You got mental health issues. You got adultery at an all-time high. You got abortions all over the place.
That's the plagues of the quails.
There you go. There you go.
That's the plagues. You got it, bro. So it said the Lord sent the plague, right? And I was actually did research when I did a video. It said that from a scientific standpoint, the plague could have been basically the meat being left out over for a long period of time in the heat. So basically, it started rotting. They was eating it like that because they just wanted the meat. So where it's like all of that shit, just bacteria and all of that. So it's just a big ass plague, and they were just eating the shit. And that's what is happening here in Babylon, man. All of this shit that people are consumed in, it's actually it's a plague. It's killing them. Why do you think people legit commit suicide off of social media and all that shit, man? They lose somebody got a big follow and they lose their account. They're gonna crash out. Yep, the plague of the mind. And that's the worst plague to have. The plague of the mind, and that's what Babylon is. It sets up people to be in a constant state of a plague of the mind, man.
If I may,
No, go ahead.
if I may, they show you that even entertainment shit. I want to say Chappelle's reference. I want to say in the Boondocks. Either the Boondocks or Chappelle show is where they got reparations, and they said when they got the reparations, KFC was eating a bunch of KFC and just doing a bunch of bullshit. And then it was the one where they had the fucking the Boondocks episode where they had the sandwich. It was a Krispy Kreme donut And I think what the meat was inside, but it's like basically motherfuckers just eating that shit continually. Everybody was getting fat. Everybody was just because they just consuming it, the lust of the flesh. And that's what Esau promotes. You go around here, you have so many fucking fast food restaurants and food places. They don't ever encourage people to fast. They don't ever encourage people to like eat healthy.
They encourage people to fast food.
Fast food, yeah.
Like, you can't even have patience enough to cook the shit.
Yeah.
You want to order it. By the time you drive up a little bit, I want the shit.
Yep.
Like, you got to think about like the process of making that type of food, man.
Yeah.
That's the plague. So now you're gonna have all of the plagues that is associated with you not being patient.
It's not real food too. So you eating a bunch of bullshit all the time.
So Numbers 11 and 34 in the NLT. So that place was called Kibroth Ta'avah, which means graves of gluttony.
In the NLT, it calls it the graves of craving. And that's what America is going to be, man. Everybody that has that, who moves based off of their cravings, they're going to die here. That's why the scriptures intensely speaks about self-control, man. Temperance. This being disciplined. In Sirach, it tells you not to give yourself to thy appetites.
Right.
Because you're going to end up what? Making yourself a laughing stock to your enemies, man. But in a person that doesn't have a wisdom, that seems like stupid not to do. Why would I not want to do what makes me happy? There's actually a doctrine here. Do what makes you happy. Live your best life. Yeah. Do as thou wilt. And it goes back to who? Esau. It goes back to the serpent. That's the serpent's doctrine, man. That's how he operates and maneuvers in the earth. Because that's what he did as Esau himself. They said, what good is my birthright if I'm going to die? So it sold eternity for some meat.
No, damn, we probably capping.
You see, that's the same thing they're doing now. When you listen to these Edomite technocrats, they say the same shit. Basically, they want to do the opposite of what they did to destroy humanity, which was push out all these philosophies and doctrines to create division. And that way, there is no unity amongst the people. And once you have that going on, now they turn around and say, oh, there's too much division. We can never come together. Let's put our differences aside and all come together under one rule, under so-called AI and shit. That's what Sam Altman is saying, man. He said, let's do away with all these differences. Alex Karp said the same thing.
That's Revelation 13 and what? 15? 14?
14, 15. It says, make an image to be, you know, that they should all bow down to the image of the beast and worship it and all that. That's what they're doing now with the AI stuff. Oh, it's too much wars going on. If we want to end wars, we should all come together under one doctrine, because the divisions is what causes the wars. The division is what brings the friction that we don't want. So we all come together and put aside your differences. And Harari said, what? Oh, you're the concept of being human and the free, what you use the word? He used what's the word?
Free will?
Free will. He said that's over.
He said that myth is done.
They call it, he said that stuff is over. It's over. That's done. He said now we could monitor your skin, underneath your skin, everything you're thinking, you're doing. Yeah, because they don't want people to be able to be to connect to the Lord anymore. The sixth sense that we're going into, clairvoyance and all that, they want to do away with all that and bring you under this submission through AI tech. How long is that going to live? When you have AI tech that's already flawed by default, how do you expect to rule in a default in a faulty system like this, fraudulent system like this? That's why AI means heap of ruins. It's going to ruin everything, man. You see now, data centers alone. It hasn't even gone mainstream yet. Just data centers being built alone is causing mad problems. How much more when it's set in stone?
NVIDIA, I think I sent this to brothers. It basically funded a company that is making miniature databases that can be put on everybody's home.
Yeah.
So everybody's gonna have a miniature database at their house, man.
Yep, I saw that shit. Yep. Hey, there's a company. I forget the name of the company. There's a company where basically the brother said the AI is flawed. There's a company that fired a bunch of people for AI, but they're saying that the AI is something happened with the AI to where they're quietly trying to rehire people. I forget the company name, but one of them joins. So you know what I mean? Like, but like the brother said, like this AI stuff. Remember what they said about the prisoners with the microchip? They said they want to monitor their thoughts. Now remember the scripture said free and bond. So what better way to let's test on the prisoners? They don't have no say so anyway. So if you put it under them, they might be offering like you can get early release if you get this, you know what I'm saying? Whatever way have you. But you see the direction that they're in, and this is their God. Remember the Lord in Psalms it said that the Lord's eyes are upon all the inhabitants of the earth. If he's trying to be like the Most High, that's why he's trying to surveil everybody. He want to know what everybody thinking, everybody doing, what you spending money on, how much you spending money on, how you spend your money, because they're gonna be the ones to turn off your shit if you say something or you do something against what they want. So that's them trying to be like the Most High, and it's clearly evident where we at. Especially now that they're talking more about actually inserting people with microchips, man. The same thing the apostles been talking about for over 20 years. And that was actually happening right before our very eyes. The third woe was right before our very eyes. Jacob trouble before our very eyes. All this before our very eyes. The end is speaking loud.
That's interesting about the data centers, the many data centers they're trying to set up around, because, you know, I mean, they've had data centers for years, but and I mean, all the data center really is just like a place to house like servers and stuff like that. But whatever it is they're trying to do, like the Internet of Bodies and the Internet of Things and your 15-minute cities and all that, they need higher speed bandwidth, right? They need higher speed internets. And if you have a data center, if you have only maybe 2 data centers in the US, somebody living on the West Coast, it's going to take longer, right? Because then their connection got to go all the way to like the mid and then come all the way back to the West Coast. But if you got many data centers all around, it's kind of like routers in everybody's house, except it's more powerful. So now you have that high speed connection right away. Everything is right away. Now, on top of that, with Wi-Fi, you can actually see through walls. Like you can see what people are doing in their house with Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi is radio waves. And when people move, they disrupt those waves. So you can detect that disruption to get the silhouette of the person, where they're going, how they're going, and all of those different things. So it's definitely a whole lot that they can do when they actually have all of these, like a lot more data centers all around. There's a lot more control they can have. And what they can do is deceive the people with the potential of what they can do.
They already are doing it, giving people $1,000, I think, a month to have it set up on their property. And they're doing it in the suburbs right now. So they're already enticing people with the money. So imagine that. With people losing jobs, things getting more expensive, I can get an extra $1,000 income by just letting them put this little box on my property.
Yeah, you pay for it in your Con-Edison bill.
No, but then they're gonna have the UBI.
That's it.
They're gonna be digital.
Everything is all gonna be a trap, man. It's all a snare that they're setting up right before your very eyes. But once again, if you're asleep, if you're in the dark, you don't see it. So when it actually comes into, once they put it online, it's already set up. Right? It's not like in the internet, when the internet was made public, it wasn't made public it wasn't built that one day everybody just started going online.
Yeah.
It been a thing.
It's already patented and all.
Yeah, it's already patented. They already did the test. They already made sure how everything was going to work.
Set for release.
Yep. Just like with anything, like with a movie, with like clothes, shoes, anything.
It's already made.
So the same thing with this, where the Lord is warning you, what they say now that they're not calling people conspiracy theorists no more. They're just calling them early. And that's what the prophets are. We were never conspiracy theorists. We were just early. And that was really for the elect's sake, to give them warning. You can't warn something. You can't warn them something after or while it's happening. Watch out for the car hitting you. At the same time, you give the warning. Like, nah, the warning only works when you do it before it happens.
Right. It's like telling somebody to hide when the person's already seen them.
Yeah, you trying to run from Jason, but they already see you. Right? Nigga been looking outside your window.
You said that meeting is they're about to meet with the AI people in the White House like this week.
This week they're coming up.
Yo, if you think about how much this AI, biometric, facial recognition, imagine how quick this got traction. The whole My ID, the whole Real ID, where you gotta I know national travel where you gotta have it, or if you don't have it, you gotta pay a fee if you don't have it. So that's these devils already getting, like the brother said, it's already in motion. They already have it created. It's just like if an album comes out, remember when CD was out, when the CD came out, the CD been produced, it's been manufactured. Right. They already manufactured all of the AI, the environment. They already have it set in motion. the kiosk machines and all that. When they brought the self-serve checkouts and the bank tellings and all that shit was already created. It was already manufactured. So now they're ushering it out for the mass of people. And that's what so that means the microchips are already created. They're having to have millions of them made already to where they're going to be made and pushed out to the public. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro.
There's just no release date on it.
Yep.
A lot of these they're already set up, and these the government's been working with these tech giants for years already. Now what they're doing is openly coming out. So to the people, it seems like, oh, they're now forming. No, it's always been a symbiotic relationship they had anyway. A lot of these were experiments. The whole use of the internet, it really started with the military,
Right. Yeah.
you know, trying to gain those different. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Yeah, it really started with the military, and then you had certain universities that were doing it. Then they started to expand more and more and more. But by the time the public got hold of it, to where your phones and everything is connected, this done already been. It's like everything's already solidified. They're already on level 2 while you getting up on level 1.
And you already got people that are already attached to certain of these things that is going to be implemented or involved into this, like for your phones, the internet, like how you said. You take internet away from people, you take one app away from people go crazy.
Yep.
You take the whole internet, shit. People are gonna lose their mind, man.
Oh, yeah.
Especially people that wasn't born when it was not around.
Them, the Gen Zers, but even people like the millennials. A lot of millennials are gonna lose their mind. Because this literally people's lives revolves around this.
Yeah, a long time.
Like it's like, yo, they don't know how to operate. They said that now, like people don't know how to communicate, face to face with people because of the internet, because of social media.
It's true.
So if they monopolize that and then weaponize it, like how we said we did that cyber service a while ago, that technology is basically they're going to capitalize on that addiction.
Yeah. Oh, like an example is when they had the whole CrowdStrike situation.
Oh yeah,
you know, for like what, a day or so, and they 2 hours. Yeah. They talking about how so much that planes, flights, everything. Like, somebody would live literally here in this building, and they go maybe like 2 miles down, and they've been living here for 10 years, and they still need a GPS every single time they go to that same place to come back. They can't say, oh well, if I just drive up this block. I mean, literally the signs are numbered. So you go uptown, the numbers increase. You go downtown, the numbers decrease. And the street names barely ever change. So you'll be here 10 years and you still don't know how to maneuver around your own block. That, once again, it was because the smartphone has robbed you of your intelligence. The smarter the phone, the dumber the user.
Yep.
That's the whole. That's
Exactly
really the
the point.
relationship.
Yeah.
Somebody said, yo, what part is the Lower East Side? I'm like, the Lower East
Go
Side.
walk out. It's like,
I'm like, yo,
the Lower East Side.
Hey, but you know what? This is a product of America's philosophy, right? For so long, people think that America is a country, but America is nothing but a corporation. And what you're seeing these other corporations doing, they're just doing what their mother does. That's it. Like what the shit that Pfizer would do, the shit that all these, whatever corporation you want to mention, OpenAI, all of them, they all do the same thing that their mother, America, does. All right, America is just a big ass corporation, and her job, every corporation, when you look at their actual statement, it's always about we're here to make money. That's it. So regardless of what the field is, regardless of what the topic is, it ends with them making money. So if they pitch it to you like, oh, we're trying to help you. No, the real verbiage is we're doing this to help you, but the actual understanding is we're doing this to help us. Whatever we say we're helping you, it's helping us. That's what that means. Right. There's a book called
no, you gotta go ahead.
There's a book called Double Speak, right? And Double Speak, it goes into the whole understanding of how Esau uses all this fancy ass words, politically correct words that don't really mean shit besides the opposite of what they're actually saying. That's whenever they say something, they come up with all these extravagant speeches. We're able to pinpoint exactly what they're saying because number one, we know the agenda, so they can't lie to us and make it seem like, oh, this is gonna make America great again. Meanwhile, everything you're doing, all your policies, all your actions is leading to America's downfall. So we know what the agenda is, and we told people before Trump came in, this is all going to lead to the end of America. The only thing he's going to do is speed it up. That's it. And that's exactly what he's done. All right, what you guys.
I want to bring out this article. This came out Friday. It says Trump to meet with artificial intelligence companies on government profit shares planned as soon as next week. President Trump said he will likely meet with AI companies at White House next week to discuss what he calls a federal government partnership that would allow the American people to profit in their success.
That's the lies. That's the trick right there. Because the people here, American people, they think of themselves. Whenever he says American people, he's talking about these technocrats, these billionaires who already got money. Read James the 5th chapter; it tells you that. This is their plan to amass all that wealth onto themselves in these last days.
And then they're going to give dividends because it's going to say it.
There you go.
It says the president said Friday that the program, which could include sending company dividends to Americans, would help secure buy-in from a public that remains skeptical about long-term disruptions, including the labor market of the technology. So this is how it says it's going to secure the buy-in, right? Secure the public to be down with this, and we just give them some dividends. So they're making billions and trillions of dollars, but we're going to give 100. That's the UBI system. This is the setup right here. This is what they're talking about. This is the system that the federal government is partnering with the private companies, the technocrat companies, to set up the UBI. We've been saying it. They've been saying it. They call it UHI now. They had to change the verbiage, the double speak, right? Universal high income. You can't say basic. You can't say basic. It sounds low. It sounds poor. It sounds niggering. Universal high income. But that's the poison. That's the serpent's poison, man. The adder. They say these things so now the people's mind, oh, we're all gonna make money now. It's gonna be free. Think about when Trump was in the office for the first time, what they was doing. The stimulus checks. And people were loving it. That's why they got him back in the second time. They'll bring us back. Oh, get us the stimulus checks again. He's gonna do it again, but now it's gonna come with a cost.
Whatever happened to that $2,000 that he said he was going to give people based on tariffs?
Oh, yep.
Whatever happened to that? So that should be an indicator. He ain't here for you, man. He keeps making more money for his people and his people, his family, immediate people, and his friends, his billionaire friends. Most niggas ain't billionaires to be in that club. So he's looking out for his people, man. Again, it's all prophecy. James the 5th chapter. That's what you're seeing now, and it's more of like a few years ago they were saying that they're gonna wipe out the middle class. There'll be no more middle class. Only the rich people and then the poor. That's what you're seeing now.
Elysium,
exactly.
And Ready Player One. Those type of movies.
And when you look at all those movies, they all come to the same conclusion, which is we make the people so poor that they have no choice but to augment themselves with our technology in order to get some type of semblance of life.
It's an escape.
That's the escape. But it's a trap because once you get into that shit, you can't get out. Now people wish, oh, why did I even do this? How did we even get to this point? But it's too late. We passed the stage. They say that they're gonna be putting flock cameras on I-95 and all these different things. And then they said that eventually people, right, for so long, because of the inconsistency of police maybe stopping you, if you're going above the speed limit, you may or may not be stopped. They said, no more are we dealing with all that inconsistency. If we have a robot and a machine that watches everything, if you run the light, or if you go even 6 miles above the speed limit, you get a ticket right there. And they don't look, it's not going to take long. Before you get to your house, they've already started mailing the ticket into your house. It's all digital. Yeah, that's right. You got
If I may, because the brother had a precept, if I may, because it made me think about the brother mentioned James the 5th chapter. Now I know your brothers heard it, but Trump, I believe Trump and his family just got deemed to where like they can't be some kind of audited, or they can't, something can't be done to his family, him and his family, his company, they can't be audited or some shit like that. Yeah. So, but I don't know if y'all heard this nigga's son, his son just got some kind of stock or some kind of very high, like millions of dollars. And so I don't know if it's oil, it's something like that to where his son just got hella, like they're basically saying that Trump's family's net worth has skyrocketed since he's been in office. Now check this out. It would make sense that America's a corporation because look how he's president. This nigga was a businessman, not a politician. So his interest is in business. He says, I make deals. He made a deal with Amalek. He makes a deal with these technocrats because that's Amalek. They're the ones keeping him rich. Remember, he was going on some bankrupt shit. He was quote unquote not do like whatever, even though he was still rich. But his whole thing was his net worth was going down. But now, we're gonna set you up. You're gonna get back on top. Now this nigga family rich. Now he good. He don't got to worry about getting audited or whatever shit like that. heaping treasures. Heaping treasures for what? The last days, because they know this shit over. So they're getting their money ready, storing their treasures, and it's all they're gonna go on the ground. It's literally prophecy.
And that's why Peter Thiel dipped out. He had dipped out because he knew, man. Even Palantir, come on. The CEO of Palantir left America, said reasons of what? High taxes in Cali, which really was not. Because you getting taxed, you're a multi-billionaire. You don't worry about a couple $1 million.
They're the ones who get the tax breaks.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about?
Nah, he said also what? Political instability and nuclear war.
There you go. That's the one.
So wait, he gonna go to Europe.
Nah, he ain't going to Argentina.
Argentina to escape nuclear war.
Well, because they already have it. They already assessed that. They said that South America, the south of South America, and I think they said Bosnia. Bosnia, that's in Africa, right?
No.
What's
Botswana.
Botswana.
Yeah, that's
They said that like those area, Netherlands, would be the best places to be on the earth when if nuclear war took place. It would be the least likely fallout and shit like that.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's why he went over there.
Probably got a bunker over there too.
Yeah, because he bought property in Uruguay, which is right next to Argentina, but it was just a big ass like lot.
Interesting.
So they were saying that it's more than likely he's going to build like a bunker over there. They already have like people think that that's what he's doing over there. Which yeah, you got to do that shit.
Why would he?
So you got a precept? Yeah, I mean Luke 21:34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. Right. So take heed to yourself, man. You got to be in a constant self-examination. You got to consistently be able to look at yourself in the mirror. And the only way you can do that is going back to what we were talking about. You got to have light. You got to be able to see. Because the drunkenness and the surfeiting, all of that puts you in a state of what? Mental incapability, right? When you become what they say when you're drunk, you're
inebriated.
Not intoxicated, it's the other one.
Not inebriated?
Nah, I can't think of it now. But basically, your judgment is basically you're impaired. You have mental impairment. So that's what the drunkenness and the surfeiting does. You are and you tie that with them, as we talked about before, with the folly of the finals and all that. People are not paying attention to nothing. You know what I mean? People could probably get like robbed, pickpocketed during a celebration. Yeah, everybody jumping around, just grabbing shit. Bitches ass getting grabbed. He's like, you're not paying attention, man. You're not paying attention to your surroundings. So that's why YAHAWASHI said that, man. That take heed unto yourselves. Give strict attention to. Go ahead.
Hey, and real quick too, when you actually look at it, right? That's why Esau always wants to make people intoxicated, because that's how you're not making a clear judgment call with a clear mind. That's why YAHAWASHI always talked about being sober-minded, because when you're sober-minded, you can process information and give actual good information or feedback back. Real judgment call, exactly. But Esau, he wants you to make a call where you're not clear-minded.
Under the influence.
That's why you have a lot of liquor stores in the hood.
There you go. There you go. It's to keep you always constantly intoxicated, because number one, you're stressed out. So you're drinking your stress away. But what's that doing to you is making you imbalanced, where you can't make a right judgment call. In case there was a threat coming to you, your approach to that threat will not be this. It's not going to be appropriate for that time, right? That's how they're able to get all these celebrities to sign their souls away. They get them intoxicated first.
Yep.
It starts with those fucking parties.
Yep.
And what do you get at the parties? You get drinks, right? You get women, drugs. These are all things that intoxicate
you. Like, you like this watch or this.
Exactly. Just like that. Right. To woo you.
And then it goes.
And you start getting all drowsy. And then you start looking at coming towards you slow and shit.
Getting that wrong oil.
But that's what they do.
Give us some of your oil.
Yes,
You turn oil into an Olympic sport, guys.
But that's what they do. That's Esau's MO. That's why the Lord always says these things. Again, the scriptures are woven and they're intertwined perfectly. And if you're able to actually follow how it's woven, you're going to arrive at, you're going to go on such a journey. You're going to be like, damn, Lord, why? Like, how do you think about putting this in here, putting that in there? It's like, you got to be of the elect for the Lord to actually unwind your mind to understand that the whole
Well,
entire
Malachi
thing.
said that. Brother, get down to Malachi 3rd chapter that the book of remembrance was written for the elect.
Exactly.
It was only written for the elect.
Yep, right.
Because only the elect will be able to interpret it, decode it, and then also apply it. Got it? Yep.
Malachi 3:16, and they that feared the Lord spake often one to another, and the Lord hearkened.
See, it started with what? And they that feared the Lord. That's where it starts with. As we always go into what is the beginning of wisdom, the fear of the Lord. And when you fear the Lord, that's what's going to be on your mind. And when it's on your mind, it's ultimately going to come out of your mouth. So that's why I said that they spoke often one to another. This is what we're speaking about, man. Go ahead. Often.
Right.
Making his ears heavy.
No rest.
And the Lord hearkened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and that thought upon his name.
See, just like how the Lord heard the murmuring of the niggas in the wilderness about the quail, it said that the Lord was there. Like that's like I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Because that's what people don't realize, man. Like when you complain and you murmuring and you talking, like when people say certain things, this is like, yo, you really don't realize like the Lord hears you.
Right.
The Lord hears you. Like even when it's like that's why the scripture says that the life and death is in the power of the tongue. I remember a chick when I was in high school, she used to always talk about, oh, Lord hates me, I want to kill him, I want to kill myself. She got taken out, 16, car accident.
Oh shit.
To the Lord would tell her, have her say it.
Yeah, you manifested. You prophesied it, yep. What's it called? A self-fulfilling prophecy.
What the man? She spoken into existence, yeah.
So likewise, for us, those that are speaking often one to another, those that fear the Lord, we find a way. We continuously speak about this. Hey, it's coming into fruition. Like we always say, through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, the Lord is allowing us to actually speak these things, speak the downfall of Babylon, man. We're speaking this place, chanting Babylon down. We're speaking the kingdom of heaven coming on the earth. Heralding the return of the Lord. And why do you think these devils are ultimately going to stop us from speaking? They know the power of the tongue. They know very well the power of the tongue because they sold their birthright based off of the tongue. When Esau sold it, Jacob said, swear unto me this day. The Lord heard that.
In the Lord's name.
So likewise, what we're doing in the Lord's name is bringing down this place. And eventually this devil can no longer just try to fight in the shadows. He's now going to have to be brought to the light because we're, like I said before, these lamps are taking away the darkness. So you can't fight in the shadows no more.
Yep. It's on.
Luke 12:2. There is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known.
Yep.
Right.
Everything is being laid out, man. Hey, to these the wicked ass false teachers out here, the Pegasuruses and the fucking women beaters, all that, the Lord is revealing all that shit, man. Remain less nasty. It's disgusting. He said it's disgusting. Exactly. Yo, but that was his voice. Yo, but all that is being revealed now, man. So, and when the Lord gets you, it's not like you could just like bounce back from that.
Right.
Because now that's going into your name. That's why having a name is very important. That the name is not just a name, it's your reputation.
Right.
Scripture says, have regard unto thy reputation, man. Because that's going to follow you.
See?
You can forget somebody's name, but their reputation You ain't gonna forget that.
Who's the one that did such and such?
Because
It's tied to your actions.
you'll remember something that somebody did before you remember their name. Who was the guy that was you're like, who was the guy that was the biggest? That's how you get brought back to remembrance. That's a horrible, horrible position to be in. And it follows you. You can't get rid of your you can't get rid of your legacy. Like you try to work to amend it. And, unless the Lord does it, it's not going nowhere. That's why it says he that teaches men to break the laws and do so shall be called least in the kingdom. That word called goes into rank, but it also goes into appointed or designated. Like your designation is now least in the kingdom. That's your reputation. And when people ask you, why are you so low? You gotta think about that. Why are you so low in the kingdom of heaven?
Aren't you an Israelite?
Yeah, well, aren't you a God? Like, why are you so low?
Damn.
Then you gotta answer that question.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that follows you forever.
I'm doing. Sound like an Esau kingdom where you see an Edomite down and out, you'd be like, why you get like that? Because you know these devils and at least was greedy. But you, a person that's at the bottom of the kingdom of Israel, that's by your own actions over here.
Hey, remember what YAHAWASHI said? He said, whatever we bound on earth shall be bound in heaven. So it's like the Zaquan was saying that we're speaking these things into existence because the Lord has already given us the words to speak. So that's literally the words of the Lord. That's why it's going to come to pass, because we're not saying things from our hearts. Everything we say goes back to the scriptures. And those are the words of the Heavenly Father being brought to life. So when you see them being made manifest, we're just literally just saying things that you already know, but you just don't read the scriptures to find out. So the Lord says, I'm going to send prophets out there so they can speak the word so you can hear it and explain it so you don't have any excuse. You can't say, oh Lord, but I was reading the book, I didn't get the understanding. Well, I sent my men out there. You didn't have to read the book to understand what they were saying. They spoke in your own language. Right. They said everything there is to say. You just rejected. So that's you. They made it plain. They made it super plain. Literally break down. Like that's it's in the word. We break down the scriptures, and niggas still don't get it. How hard-headed can you be? Isaiah the 1st chapter, right? The Lord says, what? Why should you be stricken anymore? It's not gonna work. I just gotta destroy you and start all over again. But I'm gonna save my cluster, the ones who actually are obedient, because obedience is not an innate behavior. It's taught and it's learned. So we had to go through the teaching, and then we have to also go through the learning, so we can go out there and teach it. Yerushalayim. Right? Okay. So it's a process, man. It happens through a process of time. The past 2,000 years has been the process of preparation for the return of our Lord to enter into the kingdom of heaven, man. The perfection of the saints. That's a 2,000-year period. So that time is almost up, man. And you devils out here scrambling, talking about you out here scrambling, talking about a so-called new world order, right? Ain't gonna be no, you own nothing and you be happy. Where you get that from, man? Who you talking to? You talking to the Israelites or you talking to everybody else? Because that's not the promise the Lord gave us. Right. You own nothing and we'll be happy. That's not the promise in the scriptures for the Israelites. So we're going based on the promise in the scriptures, not based on what the fuck asshole actually you saying.
And that goes back to the brazen serpent, right? Just believing, just to look at it. That's why the Lord said, as a serpent was lifted up, so shall I be lifted up. So you believe that the Lord did what he did, then it don't matter what anybody else is saying. It don't matter what it looks like on the outward, man. Right. If you believe YAHAWASHI came and died for you and was risen, then all of this shit that Esau talking about don't have any merit. But you're gonna be tested in that belief. Right. The hour of temptation is gonna be the test to see if you truly believe what is written. Yeah, more.
And I was just gonna add a point that whole own nothing and be happy, that's gonna be his own fate. Just like Haman, except minus the happy part. He's gonna own nothing and be in a pit and be miserable and be the lowest of the low. And all the nations, even the Moabite, is gonna look at you and be like, damn, this nigga low. You know?
And that's your original state.
Word.
No, you got it.
Yeah, that's your original state. The basis of man.
Yep.
All you did was just confuse, deceive. You went out to deceive the nations. The Lord put you in a position that you don't really fit. And this is proof of it, man. Why are you trying to create inanimate, inorganic beings to have dominion over the organic? Only a base man would do that. The Lord proved, right? Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet he will not learn righteousness. In the land of the living, he shall not behold the majesty of the Lord. The Lord allowed you to be in the high level position just to show how and why he hates you. Like he's proven to you why he hates you. And look at what you're doing. Look at your actions. Time and time again, just like with Cain. If you do right, would you not be accepted? Imagine the Lord come back, even though it's not. Imagine the Lord came back and was like, look, I put you in this position because I wanted to give you another chance. And look what you did.
Now I will break you.
Now imagine that goes to show you who Cain is, because Esau never take accountability for shit. Even with the AI thing, they were talking to Kevin O'Leary. He saw, well, China's doing it, so we got to do it too. Nigga, you're the driving force. You're the one who rules the earth. They're only doing it because they getting along with your program.
Yeah, they said they have to do it. They can't go nowhere.
Nuclear power. Oh, that's the Iranians' fault. The wars and everything, the gas prices. Oh, that's Iran. They can't have a nuclear weapon. He's just constantly pointing the finger at everybody else. But it's like, no, it's you. The focus is all on you.
It's Isaiah 14. Is this the man that
I got it right here.
The niggas got nukes because you got nukes.
The Iranians, Adam.
You're the only one that used the nuke in history. But you want to talk about nobody else can use? You're the only one that shot the gun, but not today. I can't get a gun.
My blessing.
I got that in Isaiah 14 and 16. Get straight to the point. It says, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms?
Right. Because you look at now, like how Esau boasts, the greatest kingdom. This is the most powerful, the most, like they say it like it's like an absolute. And they'd say it to where it's like there could never be another.
Right.
So in their works, they've shown they went. That's why the scriptures calls it the hammer of the earth. They went and showed that power, right? They went and destroyed lands, took over resources, toppled governments, inserted puppet leaders. The way he talks about, we're gonna finish with Iran, we're gonna go to Cuba. Like, niggas like, oh yeah, we're gonna take Greenland next
On the world tour.
It's like, we wanted to, we could just land our plans in Spain. They can't do nothing. Like the way he talks is like, we control this shit. Stole that shit. That's what I do. But the Lord gonna bring you to a point where everybody gonna be looking like, this is the same person, the same man. The Edomite race of people. Everybody. You ain't gonna have how they when Trump go around, they roll out the red carpet, they do the little sword dance. Ain't nobody gonna be dancing for you.
YMCA.
They gonna be like, damn.
Looking down, is this?
Hey,
In the pit,
we got fucked up, but not like that.
niggas trying to climb out the dirt and shit. Like,
right? You go from being the rulers of the world to being at the bottom of the bottom. That's like, man, what the fuck? Like,
Like niggas get knocked out in boxing, but when Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson, everybody remember that shit.
Bridges the rags. Hey, are you going to Donald Trump? Because I told brothers before. Yeah, I think that video was played too, brother. By the way, he's farting and shit. But anyway, goes into the when the nigga was when he be talking when you go back to Antiochus before he got all sick and shit. It said that he was like it's like things were going down, but he got more prideful and he boasted more. So when you see America going down, you hear the way Trump is talking, you would think America is in a perfect condition. He'd be like, yo, yeah, we know, we like you said, you can go in Spain, we could do this, we could do that. But here it is, and over there in the Middle East right now, y'all not the big bad boys. Y'all not over there. Y'all didn't just take out Iran quick. It's we went on month 6 or month 5.
Well, that's a sign of a fall. I think the thing that you posted, right? What do you remember what he was saying exactly? Khan. That's a sign of a fall when you gotta boast this much consistently.
Yeah. That's what he's doing.
Like you gotta continuously, we're the greatest nation, we're the hottest nation, it's the goldeness, we gonna do that. Like then you also bring in the bread and circuses right on the lawn of the White House. Like you doing so much shit while everybody else is still feeling the actual the pain of this place going down.
All right, subjects.
But you can't heal it, so you gotta just continue just to try to say shit that make it sound good.
Enchantments.
And do other things in enchantments.
It's like real quick. It's like when when somebody's hiding something in a room and you're getting closer and closer to the door, now they gotta get real desperate, jump in front of the door and shit. Wait, what? No, I was gonna tell you that the other day, we did that, and then they say some wild, extreme, desperate shit because you getting right. You basically about to see the reality of what it is.
Yeah, because you just use the word reality. He's using the rhetoric, the enchantments, right? The words, the casting of the spells in hopes that it's going to divert people's attention from the reality.
They're woken up.
The more you do it, the more people are like, nah, bro, it's opposite of that. You know? And when we here showing everything, so it makes it even worse for you. You got it, bro.
Is that the military potential of the United States is so vast that as we go down like a wounded animal, we are able to inflict tremendous suffering, as we have for the last 20 years in the Middle East. Late empires always engage in military adventurism in the desperate effort to recapture a lost hegemony. The historians actually call it micro-militarism. Arnold Toynbee writes about this as well. Toynbee cites unregulated, unchecked, uncontrolled militarism as the fundamental element of a dying empire like ours. I mean, we can't even audit the Pentagon. Trump wants a budget of $1.5 trillion. The empire becomes more desperate and more violent in an effort to save itself, which of course is counterproductive. The day the dollar is not the world's reserve currency, what will happen to the American empire is what happened to the British Empire in the 1950s when the pound sterling was removed as the world's reserve currency. But the UK disengaged from empire in a way that we didn't. That's a very important point. So after World War I, remember the British Empire with Commonwealth troops, would they lose 1 million soldiers? So they were already weakened. They were more astute. We are ruled by grifters, idiots. It's kind of Nero. It's kind of that Caligula type. And so we don't, unfortunately, have a ruling class that even has any concept at this point of what's happening to them, which makes them more dangerous. The problem is that...
Way out, yeah.
So that's a sign of the fall, man. That's a sign of the fall is how you're moving, because even your own allies are seeing it. Like, yo, like Europe talking like, yo, you moving like as if you could just do shit with no consequence, like no regard. That's why, and that's the Lord setting up the whole beast gonna be hating the horde, because you're making an enemy out of everybody, even your own people. The Trump hiring people, firing people. Like you can't. You're so divided that you're seeing like how the guy said, like somebody like a bully that just shows himself losing. He just starts crashing out everywhere. Like how what you call it did in Training Day. Denzel at the end, his last speech.
Oh yeah.
You looked foolish.
Oh, so it's kind of like if somebody's dying, they about to die, they just start wilding out, doing a bunch of shit they never did and shit.
Yeah. The bucket list.
The most dangerous person is a person that's losing power. That's how it is. You're going down and you don't want to let it go.
So Revelation 12:12. He's coming down with great wrath because he knows that he has but a short time. It's literally coming down. Like while he's falling with just swinging the sword everywhere. As lightning.
What say that? Oh, yeah, Solomon said that. No, I was going to say also the other example is cornered animal. When some animals corner, they become more rapid and things like that. So you have to think about it. If Esau's the cornered animal, why is he cornered? But he's saying, "Oh, we destroyed Iran, we destroyed all the military, everything." But then it's like you're not acting as the person who's the victim. You're acting as a person who's more on the defense in the corner.
I have some real quick. Psalm 36:1 in the NLT. For the choir director, a psalm of David, the servant of Yahawah. Sin whispers to the wicked deep within their hearts. They have no fear of God at all. In their blind conceit, they cannot see how wicked they really are. Everything they say is crooked and deceitful. They refuse to act wisely or do good. They lie awake at night, hatching sinful plots. Their actions are never good. They make no attempt to turn from evil. And that basically sums up the mentality of the wicked, of Esau, Edom. This is exactly what they do. Every day they wake up and think of how can they be more wicked than yesterday.
How can they become more crooked and more deceitful? And just when you think, yo, yeah, they took it to the all-time high, Esau will shock you and come up with a new level of wickedness. And brothers will send you the article. You know, somebody identifies as a squid now or some crazy shit. You know, this sexual, that sexual, this type of identification. Oh, now they said that in New York, they're about to pass a law that you there's gestating parent and non-gestating parent. So you're not even father and mother anymore. This is just a straight up maniac, a madman.
Worse and worse.
And that nigga Nero, he's about to be in the garden for tomorrow's Monday's game. So they might have some shit. At least might have some shit. You see,
At the game and they got
some crazy shit go down. I mean, it's New York, and the city about to explode, and that'll be a perfect way. And meanwhile, these niggas are really into the bread and circus. That's what drove me wild. Like, I'm watching the games and shit, don't get me wrong, but niggas is really into that. Like, they like, yo, like, niggas was like, yo, I had niggas I knew in the world, yo, you trying to go to the city? I'm like, hey, nah, I'm good. I watch at the crib. I'm chilling. You want to be amongst that madness, but not considering the times that we in. Here it is. They saying June, July, all of the reserves of gas about to run out. And what are you niggas doing? Out here running around, going to the city, traveling, spending all your money, getting drunk, surfighting. And that drunkenness and surfighting is also tied with digital drunkenness because you're drunk off technology. That's part of your because what does it do? It numbs your mind. Wine and things like that is comparable to these philosophies and different things, but also you can look at technology like that. Because people are drunk off the phone. They steady on it and it numbs you. You see people walk, yo, I'll be in the grocery store, a nigga walking, he just bump into you on the phone. I'm like, bruh.
My bad.
And you don't even say my bad. Yeah, you know, and you gotta dodge demons. You gotta just like kind of like be good at getting out of their way. Because you don't want no problems either. We be avoiding conflict.
Set up because even yesterday I got in real late last night because there was so much traffic in the city. They got construction going on. It's more like a preparation because they got the whole World Cup shit coming. So even that alone, that's June, July. The same time period that I already mentioned about the reserves and everything going out. So you can just think about that. It's like a perfect setup for a bad summer, man. And you got all these people, they talking about this new pestilence that's coming up, right? They got this new parasite that's making its way through Texas and shit. I did a lesson on that the other day. It's all brewing at the same time, plagues. And the Lord had it perfectly. This is the first time ever in history. And you're gonna have a World Cup. A World Cup. It's almost like Babylon. You go. A World Cup where you have all these people from different parts of the world coming to Babylon. It's gonna happen in 3 different countries: Canada, Babylon, Mexico, man. First time ever. So there's all that border shit. That's perfect time for them to say, hey, the exit system, there you go. You know, something. Who knows? But we're always got our head on a swivel. We're always watching so we can report on the things that's happening. So at least people are aware, oh shit, this was going on. If it wasn't for that, brothers, I would have never heard about it. See, if we're not here and we're not on our watchtower, man, people are gonna be dead. It's gonna be a wrap.
Hey, that's why the scripture says that the plagues are sent and are not slack, right? And because of knowing that, you have to be ready as a pilgrim upon the earth. Your mindset got to be, you know, hey, at any moment this shit could just go crazy, right? Shit could just go left. To where it's like, yo, whatever comfortable state that you were in today, you may not be in that tomorrow. Hey, Lord willing, a month 2 from now, it look totally different. It look totally different. But if you're already prepared for that spiritually, then when you actually are in it, then it's good. Then you're like, hey, you know what? Hey, the Lord just keep us. We've been serving you. We're doing the best of our ability now. We're gonna need you to deliver us in this time. But majority of people not even in that mindset. So when it comes, as the scripture says, it's going to come upon them as a thief, and they're not going to be able to escape it because their minds is not even equipped to handle the situation that they're in. So if your mind isn't even equipped, how are you going to make the right moves to have the wisdom to be able to maneuver during that time?
It's funny you said it. It's funny you said it because, like, when you think about, like, when you say watching and, like, you know, preparing, look at what the fucking people with money are preparing to do. They're actually. They said literally like in 2024, 2025, all the rich people start getting mad bunkers. Look what he's doing in the White House. Nero Trump building the whole the thing down there. Golden Palace. And he said it's gonna be medical stuff down there. It's gonna be this, it's gonna be that. Boasting, as G always does. So look what and remember, there was I seen a social media post that said they're not building bunkers for fun. They're building that. Remember, it said that they're going to go to the dens and they're going to go underground to the clefts of the rocks to hide from him that sit up on the throne, to hide from the wrath of the Lord. So I mean that they do know, that the brother said earlier, they do understand the scripture. They do know what's going on. That's why they're going underground. The Lord said they were going to go underground and he was going to bring them up. Everything, and ironically, the nuclear war is just blowing up right now. The digital system, the beast system is coming into play more than ever. I mean, they going hard. They going real hard doing this shit. Pause. They're actually literally doing the end of speaking is like, it's so like, and like to me, like, when I see it, like being in the truth for a certain duration of time, is like now you're seeing it come to fruition now in this short amount of time. When brothers been in the truth for 10+ years, and now this last 5 years, last 2 years, fuck that, last few months. February 28th, from February 28th to now, when June 28th hit, July 28th hit, August 28th hit, think about how much crazy it's gonna get. How much more digital, biometric, facial recognition, how much it's gonna be like iRobot type shit.
And the war itself.
And the war itself.
Something more and more, because they're gonna get to the point where they gotta restart it. And everybody's been saying, and I told bro, I was like, I really think that Trump is trying not to restart it, right? Because he knows, he's listened to the prophets. So he knows that this war is going to end this age. He said it. So he's trying to stop it or prolong, it from happening as long as he can.
Offset prophecy.
Right. He's prolonging the inevitable. But they said that when they restart it, it's going to go greater than just the region.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's what Iran said. He said they're bringing in people outside of the region because they got missiles that can hit bases that America have in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So now France got to worry about a missile hit. Greece got to worry. Germany.
Ooh.
They got to worry about missiles hitting over there.
Plus Russia.
Mm.
Yep.
Them striking Kiev.
Oh.
That's like forgotten news because of all the other shit that's happening.
Mm.
And they've been striking them even worse now. Because now they're hitting, actually, like you said, Kiev. I was always wondering, like, y'all been for 4 years. I ain't hit Kiev. Like, where they at?
What you waiting for?
The Lord is brewing it up.
A lot of people are testing nuclear missiles. A lot of people, a lot of countries. Remember, last year, France said all the hospitals get ready for World War III, get ready for an influx of soldiers and dead soldiers and injured soldiers. All the hospitals in France. That was last year.
It is handing out pamphlets all over Europe, prepping, telling them what tools and supplies to get
The whole continent.
for 3 months of disruption of the economy and everything. Well, over here, there ain't nobody in Babylon, no clues.
Running carelessly.
That's why they said that like you just said, that I shall never see your sorrow.
Right.
I dwelt carelessly.
Right.
Like people really don't think in America that World War III could happen. Meanwhile, in the East, that's all they talking about. They may go about their day-to-day, but they know if your government tells you, prepare for war, that just don't go escape your mind.
I did it.
Like if Trump came on the news and said, well, prepare for World War III, that's why they don't want to call this a war. It's a conflict. It's a special operation. They keep lying to the American people. And I think Putin said that. Like, I've been seeing a Western, he basically said something about Western media or the government is like they're doing a horrible thing, lying to their citizens. Because a prudent king basically will have his people in a mindset that is like, all right, get prepared.
Mm-hmm.
A prudent man that says an unwise king, that's what it is, destroyeth his people. They're getting destroyed, man, on a physical level, but mostly on a mental level.
I think Sweden last year, Sweden was a country where all of its citizens they told to prepare for a nuclear war, and they all had to get bunkers. I think it was the country, which I believe is part of the EU and all that. Yeah.
Yep. So hey, this is the time that we're living in, man. And only those that are in the day, right? As it says in get to it, 1 Thessalonians the 5th chapter, that we are able to see these things, man. We are children of the day. Don't sleep like the elders sleep. Don't be in a mindset like, nothing's happening. The Lord said the effect of every vision is at hand, and we can clearly see it. Right. So we'll close it out with that. You want to get it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got it.
Luke 21:35. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man.
There you go. It's going to come as a snare upon the whole world. But the Lord said, what? Watch and pray. You know, watch and pray that you may be accounted worthy. When you're watching and praying, that's a certain mindset and actions that you are in. You know, and that's where you got to stay. You got to stay in that type of behavior. There you go. You know? So hey, with that, we're gonna close it out. Lord willing, this is edifying, giving all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahawah, Ba'ashem, YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Until next time, shalom to the elect.
Shalom.